actually, it's not a good morning. It's a bloody awful morning. You currently find us riding, I don't know why, in a full-blown storm. What are we doing?
I can tell you what we're doing. We're taking a unique opportunity to experience two other things while we're riding. The first one is those fancy swimming lanes, because we're at the same saturation level as being in a pool, and we've also got the resistance of a bloody great fan in front of us. The second one is the now outlawed practice of waterboarding. But you know, try everything once.
Always look on the bright side. I'm trying to whistle the Life of Brian tune, but it's that windy I can't. No, it's not happening. So yes, we're out in a storm, and again, I've absolutely no idea why. We were supposed to be heading down to Richmond Park today, but we stuck our heads out the door this morning at 7 AM. It was pitch black, pouring with rain, and quite honestly, it didn't look like it was going to be getting better anytime soon. So we decided that 8 hours of riding down to London, through the city, and down to South London to Richmond Park, yeah, that probably wasn't going to be that much fun. So instead, well actually the instead should have been staying at home, maybe going on the turbo trainer in the garage and having a nice cup of hot chocolate. But no, instead we've decided to come out anyway and ride north to one of our favourite cafes, Hot Numbers. The trouble with that is the wind we gauged last night was supposed to be a northerly one, so heading southbound, which would have given us a lovely tailwind all the way down into London. Now we've turned north, yeah, it's not a tailwind, and I am essentially wearing a giant sail. So yes, like madmen, we've decided to come out in Storm Derek. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but it's currently battering the UK with upwards of 50-mile-an-hour winds. What are we doing?
Oh, what? Storm Dara, or Derek, or Donald, whatever your name is. Come on.
Today is not a day for deep aero rims. It's like a bloody kite. At points here, I'm basically having to ride my bike at a 45-degree angle. The crosswind is mental. As well as riding at a 45-degree angle, my left tricep is also starting to cramp up and get very achy, because as I hold the camera in my right hand, I'm hanging onto the left side of the bar for grim death. Yeah, the muscle's starting to ache a bit, so you'll have to excuse me if there's quite a few scenery shots in this video. Filming is not easy in a storm.
There's one thing that could be said for this technology, it really is an improvement.
Now listen, I've got a serious question. Are we having fun?
I am quite enjoying it actually.
You absolute sadist. You were the one that was determined to get out in this morning, Jimmy, so we've got you to blame for this. What have you got to say for yourself?
No, don't go out and see friends. Don't hang out your washing. Don't visit any trees. Don't go near anything that could fly away. Ride at 9 miles an hour.
American accent to an Irish accent.
Jimmy's got wandering accent syndrome now, I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, essentially, everything he's just said don't do, we're doing.
Yeah.
Where's the Jimmy moment about nature and being at one with the wildlife?
I think the kites have even stayed in.
I'm not surprised, the kites have been blown away.
If we see a kite, 100 points for a kite, the muntjac will be out. The muntjac will be out.
The lowly muntjac.
He'll be that one of us.
That'll take one of us down.
It's dirt on the disc brakes. Oh, shut up. And now I'm getting grief about disc brakes from the man riding a single speed.
Yeah, but listen to how quiet it is, Peter. Listen to how quiet it is.
I wish the bloody rider was just as quiet.
There's one!
When we came out on today's ride, Jimmy, did you think at any point you'd be taking on the role of lumberjack?
Under here I've got my plaid shirt and I'm ready to rock. Mini pump, bare tube, chainsaw.
Wood axe.
Look at his chopper.
I've just glanced over and Jimmy's got a smile on his face. I'm not sure whether he's actually happy or it's just a bit of a rictus grin, to be quite honest.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Nothing like riding through bovine fecal effluviance to really set your ride apart from others.
What they say in the gambling advert? When the fun stops, stop. I've got brain freeze.
Has the fun started?
No, that's very true actually, Peter. When the fun doesn't start, go home. I said back then, tuck in, I'll pull us along a bit, but you didn't tuck in.
I didn't tuck in because I'm wearing a giant sail. Gusts of up to 50 miles an hour.
One gear.
Right, the glass is about to go on because that rain being blown into your eyes feels like needles. However, that creates very much its own problem in that I now can't really see.
Oh, they've gone quite dark. Have mine gone dark?
It's not the shade. Oh, pow! It's not the shade, it's just the rain all over them. All right, well, all of a sudden we're riding blind, literally and figuratively. Whatever route I planned on Camus recently wanted to take us up some dirt path, and that ain't happening on road bikes. So now we're just sort of following our nose. We'll head up this way and hopefully do a right and get back on the route. Who knows? Right, well, I think we're back en route, and thankfully the rain has sort of stopped. There's only a few spits now, so the needles have stopped in the eyes, the glasses have come back off, and hallelujah, I can see. Slow is definitely the word today. Especially as we come into the little village of Great Chisel, which is the highest point in Cambridgeshire. Although to be fair, Cambridge is notoriously flat, so the highest point in Cambridge doesn't really say much, but it's still a climb. Sit rep, the rain has started again. We are 18, 19 miles in and we're on the hill again, and I'm feeling pretty close to done. I think we've got about 3 or 4 miles left to go until we get to the calf, and I'm looking forward to some hot food, a hot drink, a sit down, and maybe to dry out a little bit. Oh boy. The quintessential British sound of church bells tolling across the village green. If only it were a beautiful summer's day, that would sound quite nice. Right now, it sounds like a funeral dirge. Finally, we've made it. Well, amazingly, my hands are completely dry, so I can definitely recommend Galibier gloves, Galibier deep winter gloves. Right, time for something to eat. Right, with that beautiful breakfast done, it's time to head back on what should hopefully be the fastest 20 miles ever. It should be a pretty much constant tailwind the whole way home, but currently I'm being blown from the left. Hopefully we'll turn right in a second and this jacket will suddenly become a sail for all the right reasons. Right, well, given that we are being punished by what appears to be the watery based punishment of the Lord today, I have to say that once again I am massively impressed by my £20 AliExpress rain jacket. As I've said previously in videos, there is no such thing as a completely waterproof jacket, because if it keeps water out, then it also stops water from getting out. And so where you sweat and build up condensation inside the jacket, you are still going to end up slightly damp. And as it is, yeah, my arms were slightly damp when I took this jacket off at the calf. But we looked at the weather report this morning and the temperature was showing us 6 degrees. And we've been out in much colder than that before, so we thought that'll be fine. And then we looked down at the feels like temperature, -6. And I have to say, when Chris arrived at my house this morning in his car, I moved my car forward on my drive so he could park behind. We decided that we had to have a board meeting, but given that it was 7 AM and everyone was asleep in both mine and Jimmy's house, we decided that the discussion could not be in the houses. So we sat in my car and discussed it. And yeah, that's where we decided that 8 hours of riding in this stuff, yeah, we didn't fancy it. We're up for a challenge, but we're not completely mental. But yes, going back to the jacket, as ever, I can highly recommend it. 20 quid for a lightweight waterproof jacket, you can't really argue. My body, main part of my body, is lovely and dry, but my hands absolutely bone dry in these Gale deep winter gloves. So yeah, I can definitely highly recommend those. Right, we've just been passed by a car, the driver of which was waving his arms desperately at us and seemed to be telling us to go back, and now we can see why. There appears to be a lake in the middle of the road. As Jimmy's just pointed out though, he obviously doesn't know us. Right, well, I haven't really filmed much over the last 10 miles or so because it has just been much of the same wet, cold, windy dreariness. But we have felt the wind at our backs quite a few times, so that's always a bonus. But we're now on my favourite street, as I've said many times before, Poor Street in Arkston, Saffron Walden way. At least it's my favourite street when it's sunny. As Chrissy's saying, the wind is blowing us along quite nicely. We had a number of friends drop out on this ride, chiefly because, as I said earlier, it was supposed to be a 100-mile ride down to Richmond Park and back, and a lot of them, even last night, said, yeah, I don't really fancy that in a storm.
Yeah, but we couldn't have a go at them about it because they all very kindly said, hey, stay safe out there, guys. So then you feel bad about tearing one off them because they've not come out.
But now, when we go back, we'll obviously tell them that it was a beautiful ride. They didn't know what they were missing. Well, this feels incredible. This is the first time on this ride that I've actually been able to ride no-handed without fear of the wind whipping my front wheel away. And it is in stark contrast to some of the tops of these ridges that we were riding over this morning. We were just getting blown backwards. It was all we could do just to get to the top of the hill. But now with the wind behind us, this is a completely different ride. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still wet and miserable, but at least we haven't got a headwind. I hate headwinds. Right, well, just a couple of miles from home now. While it hasn't been the fastest 20 miles in history, it has been a hell of a lot quicker than the 20 miles up there. Thankful for small mercies and all that. Oh, get me home. Right, well there you go, 65k, 40-ish miles done. Oh, hang on, Simo's having a victory lift. I can barely see you through the rain-covered lens. So 65k done, about 40 miles. My feet are soaking, my backside is soaking, my hands are now soaking because ultimately, while the Gale gloves are quite good, at some point they are going to wet out. So yeah, my hands are now soaking wet, freezing cold. But my body feels nice and warm. So once again, a big shout out to the £20 AliExpress rain jacket. But in finishing this video, what an absolutely incredible challenge it was this morning. And would I recommend going out in a storm to anyone else? Absolutely not, because there were points of that were just genuinely mental, and I honestly thought I was going to come off my bike a number of times as the wind took my wheel. But it was a challenge, and thankfully we're back. I'm going in for a cup of tea. I'm not even going to bother washing my bike down yet. I need to go in, have a shower and get a cup of tea. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Yummy.